Hello everybody, this is Walter McCormick coming at you with another insurance video. So today what we're going to be going over is how to use life insurance for retirement. A lot of people have a lot of ideas about this and different strategies and things that you can do, but to sum it up, what I'm going to go over is how to utilize two types of policies, whole life and indexed universal life, to put a retirement fund there. This can be started at any time. So parents, if you have kids and you want to put one of these policies on them, you can. If you are 18, just getting out of school, you can. If you're 25, if you're 30, 40. There is a point where some of these types of vehicles are not as beneficial, like they cost too much because they are life insurance, but at the end of the day, anybody can have these if you medically qualify for them. So what are some of the whys? Okay, like why would you want to do this? The number one is after-tax money. If there was one thing that I know, and this is another thing why the Roth IRA is so popular. If you listen to Dave Ramsey at all, he goes over extensively the Roth IRA. You're getting after-tax money. So whereas a 401k or a regular traditional IRA, you are able to write off the money that you put into that plan, you can take off your taxable income. This is after-tax money, so that the taxes are paid on the front end and taxes will not be taken out on the back end. Now, how is this achieved? So you achieve this through tax-free income through policy loans. And I'm going to draw a little picture of this with some beautiful stick figures. It may remind you of Bob Ross, but I'm just saying. So tax-free income. So you're basically able to access that money to supplement your retirement in a way that you won't have to pay taxes on it. You also will not have to pay the loans back because the dividends, and I'll go into that, but the money that's left in the policy goes to pay the loan off, so it keeps itself alive. Now that's not to say there are not risks, okay? There are some risks to doing that, but we'll go over that here in a minute. The third is an emergency fund. So let's say I've been putting in money for this thing for 20 years and something comes up and I got to draw money out of it. I can use that money. Now, if I use it early, I have to put it back. But I can use that money as an emergency fund if something were to happen. So, let me draw some pictures here. Ignore my notes up here, okay? So, let's say you've got Joe. Okay? And Joe has life insurance. And he's been paying his money into this policy, and there's a pile of money here. Okay? So, Joe, 30 years later, let's change this. Joe, he is age 71. We'll draw him hunched over a little bit. Okay, here's Joe. So he's a little older. Here he is age 36, let's just say. Okay, so he's been paying into the plan for quite a while. There's money sitting here, and Joe is no longer working. Okay, so what's going to happen is he's going to have his money here. So he takes out a chunk of that money. Let's say it's $20,000 a year. So he will not have to pay taxes on that money. He'll be able to use that money to supplement his retirement. So let's pretend we have Social Security. Okay? So Social Security plus life insurance. That looks like a 4, but it's an LI. Plus, let's say at his work, he worked for DuPont or some company, and he's got a 401k. So there he's going to have 3 sources of income to supplement his retirement. Some of it he'll have to pay taxes on, some of it he won't have to pay taxes on, and some of it will because he had to pay taxes his whole life. Okay? So that's one example of when you can use that. Now, let's say, let's use Bob, for example. Okay? Now, there are plans where you can pay money in and then almost immediately pull money out, and then you have to repay the loan. Okay? That's pretty confusing. Okay? So here's Bob. But we're talking about just retirement, okay? So Bob every year he makes $85,000 of income. Okay? So his employer, he has a 401k. And every year he pays $5,000 into that. Okay? His employer matches $5,000. So this is free money. Okay? Okay? So it would be a smart decision. So thereafter that, he's left over with 80. Okay, because he's paying in $5,000, his employer's matching it, and that would be one hell of an employer. I'm just saying. Okay, so now let's say he takes an equal amount that he would put into an IRA, so like $6,000 a year, and he buys an indexed universal life insurance policy. So here you're going to have 2 buckets. The tax bucket and the no tax bucket. Okay? So all the money here is going to go into here. And all this money is going to go into here. So then, later in life, he's got these 2 buckets. Okay? So what's the benefit of that? So let's say the market is going up, stock market. Okay, the market goes up. Which bucket is he going to draw from? He's going to draw from the taxable bucket. And I mean, he could draw a little bit out of the non-taxable bucket. But I'm going to mainly show the main benefit here. So he draws out when it goes up. So now when the stock market goes down, you're not going to want to pull out of this bucket. Now you have your required distributions, I'm not talking about that, but you don't want to pull from a taxable bucket because it's going to make your it's going to make your money value go down way faster. So then you have your non-taxable bucket, which you would then draw from, and you could not draw from this over here, okay? So that would help to prolong your money and make it last longer. So that's how to use life insurance for retirement. That's just one way. If you have specific questions, feel free to reach out to me. My contact information will be listed below. Y'all have a good weekend.